Hello all YouTubers, the Weather Dude here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you all for tuning back in my presentation for April 9th, 2019. As always, please don't forget to subscribe and also ring the bell notifications. As always, after watching this video, please consider looking at the description for other superior and accurate weather forecasts from me only that you will not find anywhere else. So as always, please consider looking at the subscription when you're done watching this video. Today's video is going to be about the fire danger in the south central and also in the southwestern United States. Okay, so we're gonna look at we're gonna analyze the winds first. Okay, so these are the current wind gusts. Okay, and I have my knots to miles per hour conversion so you can see the winds. Okay, so 33 knots. Okay, right now in parts of northeastern Texas, like the northeastern part of the Panhandle, and also western Oklahoma. Transfer that over to miles per hour. Okay, and that gives us about 38-mile-an-hour wind gusts right now. Okay, and they're coming out of the south, so it's warm. Okay, you got a warm flow, but back in Arizona. Okay, we're talking about winds of 53 knots. Whew, that's scary. Okay, if you convert that over, that's about more than 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Okay, and as we move time forward, let's go midnight. Okay, and we start to see the wind shift a little bit farther to the east. Okay, we start to see a low form to the north. That is Winter Storm Wesley. Okay, if you do not know what Winter Storm Wesley is, I highly recommend that you watch my previous video about Winter Storm Wesley and how it's going to bring feet of snow to the northern plains. Okay, but you can see northern Oklahoma got some 35 knot winds. Okay, again, if you transfer this over, that gives you about 40-mile-an-hour winds. Okay, so winds will be present as well. And if we look at the dew points, okay, so this would be like your area of fire danger. Because even like as far out as I can go, be honest with you, really, like, just watch how the dew points, they just stay in the 20s, in the 30s, even in the teens, in single digits, which is really dry air. Okay, maybe at the highest we'll get is 40 degrees at times. Okay, but all the moisture is just locked in over here in the southeast. Okay, so we're not really seeing any improvements for the fires, no really relief for the fires and the wildfire threats. Okay, just watch the black circle outline there. Maybe a brief break, like we're talking about, like the next Tuesday, maybe brief break into the 40s and 50s. Okay, but lots of areas will still stay in the 20s and teens for dew points. Okay, as far as I can go, okay, this is a little bit irrelevant at this point because, you know, anything can happen, but maybe a little break eventually in the wildfires as we head the next couple weeks. But for the short term and the midterm, okay, fire danger will be present, so please be very careful out there as well. And also, if we look at the total cumulative precipitation, the good thing is we're going to have a decent amount of precipitation in some spots. Okay, let's take it over the next 5 days and see who gets precipitation and who will not. Okay, so 120 hours, 5 days. Okay, parts of northern Texas could get a good ½ inch to an inch of precipitation in the next 5 days, which isn't bad. Okay, but people over like in New Mexico, especially southern New Mexico, barely like ½ inch. Okay, so it's gonna depend on where you are. But again, like I said before, the dew points and the locked-in moisture of 2 inches or more of rain in the next 5 days will stay more to the east, towards more like the southeastern United States. Okay, so over the next 7 days, notice there's still the same amount there. So really, the precipitation that comes in Texas, in northern Texas, will be like a short term, at least for the Panhandle. Okay, by the time we head over the next, let's say, 16 days, okay, again, nothing has changed. Okay, so that proves that we'll get rain within the next, like, 5 days, and after that, it's really not going to rain. Okay, because notice that it just doesn't move at all inside that black circle. Okay, so this is the wildfire climatology. Okay, so it's basically, like, probability of a wildfire greater than or equal to 100 acres within 25 miles. And according to, like, climatology, normally places like eastern Kentucky, like the Appalachian Mountains of West Virginia, you guys are the ones that typically see the fires. Okay, good. The good thing is that we do have a lot of moisture hanging in the air right now. Also, northwestern Minnesota, 30 to 50% chance of wildfires according to climatology from 1992 to 2015. Okay, so these are your areas that usually get fires, as well as southern Florida. Okay, that was very sobby. So southern Florida could get some as well. Southern Mississippi. But notice, it's not really that normal to have wildfires. But mostly about 5 to 10% probability according to the climatology from the NOAA. Okay, so day 1 fire outlook. So fire outlooks today. Okay, your critical threats: Albuquerque, New Mexico; Pueblo, Colorado; Las Cruces, New Mexico, Rio Rancho, New Mexico, and Roswell, New Mexico. Yes, that's where the quote-unquote UFO was, in Roswell, New Mexico, if that sounds familiar to you. Okay, but that's where your critical threat of fire danger is going to be. Outside there, it's just an elevated, so not too bad of a risk. Okay, so, but more than 2 million people will be affected by at least the threat of wildfire danger today. Just because you're in that critical area doesn't mean you're going to have a wildfire. I mean, you could, but it's more like if a fire does start, like, are the conditions favorable for it to spread? This is like what this graphic is showing you. Okay? Heading into tomorrow, not going to get any better. Okay, in fact, we're going to actually add extreme to the map for places like El Paso, parts of the Panhandle in Texas. Okay, so here we go. El Paso, Amarillo, La Cruces, New Mexico, again, Roswell, New Mexico, and Alamogordo, New Mexico, in that area of extreme fire risk. And then critical is Lubbock, Midland, Odessa, Texas, Sierra Vista, Arizona, and Garden City, Kansas. Okay, so about maybe a little bit more than 3.1 million people to be affected by at least a critical fire danger tomorrow. Okay, so very, very dangerous stuff. Okay, luckily, this area that the fires are impacting is not too overly populated, like, you know, like the Mid-Atlantic, okay, Chicago, Detroit, Florida, Georgia. Luckily, it's not too populated areas, but still, people will still be affected. Okay, over 3 million people will be affected by wildfires tomorrow. Okay, day 3. Okay, it's a little bit too far out to tell. The best graphics usually go out two days. Okay, you can see there will be a risk. Okay, to pick. It's not really categorized, but the risk is there for El Paso, Midland, Odessa, Roswell, New Mexico, and Socorro, Texas. Okay, and also 70% chance of having fire dangers and also a lot of wind and dry air in place. To wrap up this presentation, we're going to show you the wildfire outlooks. Okay, so the critical threats will be north and west of Guilliman, Stratford, Dalhart. Likely it's going to be north of I-40. Okay, so the fuels will be most receptive to fire growth across the western panhandles. There will be some areas of blowing dust possibly at times. Okay, so there'll be a lot of fuel for these fires because if they do form because of the winds. Okay, so most favorable based on the strongest winds and lowest relative humidities. Okay, coming out of the south with those winds. Makes it feel even warmer, not to mention it's going to be sunny and very dry as well. Okay, so that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. There will also be winds, gusts up to 70 miles an hour possible. So please be very careful out there. Temperatures in the 70s and 80s with blowing dust. So that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. I'm The Weather Dude, signing off. Till next time. Don't forget to subscribe.